Psalm 65 verse 1 to 66 verse 8 through the Bible. Psalms 65 and 66. Theme: Songs of the Millennium. To the chief musician, a psalm and song of David. It is known as a restoration psalm, of restitution of all things, which God hath spoken by the mouth of all his holy prophets since the world began. Acts 3 verse 21. The restitution of all things does not mean that everyone is going to be saved. Those who hold the doctrine of restitutionalism use this verse to support their theory. Exactly what are the all things which are to be the subject of restitution? In Philippians 3 verse 8, when Paul said, "I count all things but loss," did he mean all things in God's universe? Obviously not. So here, the all things are limited by what follows. The times of restitution of all things, which God hath spoken by the mouth of all his holy prophets since the world began. The prophets had spoken of the restoration of Israel. Nowhere is there a prophecy of the conversion and restoration of the wicked dead. Praise waiteth for thee, O God, in Sion, and unto thee shall the vow be performed. Psalm 65 verse 1. Sion is the same as Zion, and this verse is not speaking about a heavenly Zion. It is a geographical spot down here on earth. I have been to that place. I saw the sign that pointed the way to Mount Zion, and I went up there. And I didn't go to heaven that day, I assure you of that. It is a long, hard pull up that elevation. When David speaks of Sion, he means that place. Blessed is the man whom thou choosest and causest to approach unto thee, that he may dwell in thy courts. We shall be satisfied with the goodness of thy house, even of thy holy temple. Psalm 65 verse 4. As a redeemed people, they express their happiness. Thou visitest the earth and waterest it. Thou greatly enrichest it with the river of God, which is full of water. Thou preparest them corn, when thou hast so provided for it. Thou waterest the ridges thereof abundantly. Thou settlest the furrows thereof. Thou makest it soft with showers. Thou blessest the springing thereof. Thou crownest the year with thy goodness, and thy paths drop fatness. They drop upon the pastures of the wilderness, and the little hills rejoice on every side. The pastures are clothed with flocks. The valleys also are covered over with corn. They shout for joy. They also sing. Psalm 65 verse 9 to 13. Everything sings. This is a beautiful picture of the millennium, when the desert blossoms like the rose and the earth at last is at peace. Psalm 66 is, to the chief musician, a song or psalm. Did David write it? We are not told, but he could have. We are not given any historical background for it at all, but many have guessed at what prompted its writing. It is a psalm of praise unto God and a wonderful psalm of worship. O bless our God, ye people, and make the voice of his praise to be heard. Psalm 66 verse 8. This verse looks forward to that day in the future when Israel will be restored to the land. Ezekiel tells us that in that day they will offer sacrifices. What is the explanation of it? Just as they offered sacrifices in the Old Testament that pictured the coming of Christ, in the future they will offer sacrifices that will look back to Christ's coming. Every lamb will point to the Lamb of God which taketh away the sin of the world. John 1 verse 29.